You've said that the decolonization movement is based on false and ahistorical premises, and we should be concerned about it as it threatens to undermine the West with the cancer of imaginary guilt. A lot of people have never heard this before. It's sort of just orthodox belief that the decolonization movement is good and true and colonization was a bad thing. So for those people who have never been exposed to these ideas before, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, first of all, Alex, um, let's put this in context. Uh, Empire and the mass migration of peoples uh, are universal phenomena. Long before the British or the Europeans started creating empires all over the world and exporting people, other peoples had done the same. I mean, the Maori arrived in New Zealand, of course, from elsewhere. Fortunately, it seems that when they got to New Zealand, there was no one else there. But when in 1835 they crossed the seas to the Chatham Islands and they found people there, the Moriori, they slaughtered 10% of them and enslaved the rest. So when we consider what the evils and benefits of European and British colonization, let's just remember that all peoples everywhere on every continent were at some point or other involved in what you might call imperial or colonial expansion, which led to them dominating other peoples. So that's one thing to say. The next thing to say is that, yes, of course, the process of the expansion of British power led to bad things. It led to, in New Zealand, conflict over land. It led to injustices. But again, let's just remember, the British Empire lasted 4 centuries, from 1550 to 1960, and it spread. It spanned from Newfoundland to New Zealand. Name me any other long-standing state which didn't chalk up a set of injustices or evils. So that's not surprising. But let's also remember that there was a credit column in the ledger, in the imperial ledger, and it's not a coincidence that New Zealand now is one of the most liberal and prosperous countries on earth. New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Britain, and the US are among the most liberal and least racist countries on earth. In the World Values Survey of 2023, I don't think New Zealand is mentioned, but Canada, Australia, and Britain are. And in terms of two questions asked of people in 17 different countries, two questions are, would you object to having as a neighbour an immigrant or someone of a different race? And the Canadians and the Australians and the British score among the least in this table, in stark contrast to the Chinese, the Russians, and the Iranians. And that fact that the liberal quality of our countries is not an accident. It's a result of the triumph of a liberal tradition that was exported from Britain.